Hello and welcome to a Project Go Create video. Today I'm going to show you the perfectly wrapped project kit and the coordinating stamp set. And there's I'm going to show you one of each of the packages, and obviously you get 4 of each to make. I've sped this video up, I've also edited it, and it is still longer than my usual videos. So if you're going to make this kit, you do need to give yourself a few hours, an afternoon or something, but it is beautiful. So I just literally took everything out and put it into little piles of what goes with what, and I'm just making up the stripy box. So you fold it in the wider flap, then the sides, and then the main flap, and then you just slide over this clear plastic kind of wrap, belly band I suppose, and then you just pop out the flower petals. And I think you get two layers of the big, 2 layers of the medium, and 2 layers of the small. And you know, if you want to use less, you can then use those on other things, or just use them as they've used it in the book. And you know, that's the beauty; it's yours for you to play around with. This is the middle of the flower. Now, if you wanted to use hot glue, if you've got a hot glue gun, that would be perfect. I used tear and tape, and that was also brilliant. And through this kit I've used mostly tear and tape and glue dots, so you can use those glues. If you've got fast fuse, that would also be brilliant. Snail might not be as sticky, so I've just basically put tear and tape along one edge, and I'm just rolling it up into kind of a spiral, and then you just flick out the middle bit so it looks like a spiky flower part, and then I just put some glue dots on the bottom of that just to make it stand up. So that's it all kind of being spiked out there. And then I used the bone folder to curl up the flowers, and the bone folder is great for that. It's one of those tools that you can easily overlook, but when you've got it, it's absolutely brilliant. And some glue dots on the flowers, and I literally just layered up the flowers with the glue dots. I curled them up and layered them up. And you get instructions that just show you what order to put them in, but it's really simple, you can see just by looking at it. And then a bit of sequin around the box with some glue dots, and then the flower goes on the top. So then it's just a case of stamping your tag, and I just put some tear and tape over that just to keep those still and to sit the flower on it. I think the sequins kind of push up a bit, so you need a little bit of a stable base. And then it's a really great sentiments in this stamp set. So if you're looking kind of for an all-rounder, you've got some nice big sentiments. They take up a lot of room on a card, which is always nice. And then you've got, you know, a lot and for you and big and things like that. So you've got a big thanks and those kind of things. And then you've got these kind of wavy lines, which is really great, especially if they're photopolymer, because you stick them onto a block and it doesn't really matter if they're straight, they're not meant to be straight. And then the ink pads are Mint Macaron, Emerald Envy, I think it was Peekaboo Peach, and the black. Now, I couldn't find my archival black, so I used Stays On, but I would recommend the archival black. It's a great black. And then that just sticks out at the side. That's beautiful, I just love it. And then these are the little gift bags. So you've got cello bags, they come flat. So just push your fingers to the end and square out the bottom. And then you just fold it along the score lines and slide that little sleeve in. And then once it's got to the bottom, I found that the flap was sticking out a bit, so I just got a little bit of tear and tape and put it underneath and peeled that off and stuck that flat, so it stood up nicely. And actually I kind of squished that later on, so I used a glue dot just to secure the sleeve in, so if you want to do that you can. And then my battery ran out on my camera just here, so I will show you the stamped part on the next bag. This is the gift bag that goes with it. So I just scored it along the score lines there and curled it up, and I just kind of rolled it up like I was rolling up some wrapping paper or something along the tube, and then pull off that. And I found it's quite difficult because it springs back on you to get it to hold over, so I just literally laid it on top of the sticky tape and pressed it flat. And then the bottom part, you just press the straight pieces in first and push your fingers down to the bottom, and then just make sure that it's all sitting flat. I had a little kink there, and yep, just sits flat, and it sits lovely. It's perfect little bag. And then you just use these little white kind of twine handles, and these, I didn't know what these were at first, but they're to stick the handles into the inside of the bag. Now I would recommend maybe putting some tear and tape or fast fuse along either side as well. You don't want those popping out when somebody lifts the bag, and there might be a little bit of a spring on that, so I think that it might end up pulling away from the side of the bag, so a little bit of tear and tape or fast fuse will just secure it a little bit better. And then you just do the other end. And I did find it difficult to try and get them placed. There's no little guides on the inside, so if you squash the bag, it kind of gives you an idea of where the handle needs to go, and then you just press them down. But I did end up moving one of them. I wasn't happy with where it was, so I just moved it a little bit. So you can do that as long as you've not secured it too much. And then my video ran out, so I've made the little gold banner up, but it's exactly the same as the bunting one, which I'm going to do now. So you can try that when you get it. So you just peel off these little stickers. And what I did was, it's 11 inches, it tells you how long to cut the white thread, and I put a banner at each end and then one in the middle, and because you need 11 flags, so it's really nice when it's an odd number because you've got one in the middle and then you have an even number either side. So I just did that, and I kind of find that then you space them out and they're not too close or too far apart or anything like that. And then I just put them all along in a row, and then they stick really well. That's the last one. And then to stick it to the bag, I made the tag, so you've got the spotty black bit along the top, which I originally thought was washi tape, but it's not. It's a great use for that little stamp. And then I used my markers. I changed the colourway from their suggestion, and I just and I changed the greeting as well because I wanted to give them as teacher gifts. So I used our new in colours, so they're lovely, and a little bit of a spotty border either side as well. And then you just grab your glue dots and attach that banner, and I really like this. Such an effective look for the bag, and it's really simple, so I think I'll be trying that again, the little banner look, and it's the same with the gold ones. They're longer, so you just drape them further around and then just let it hang down the front, so it's loose, and then you just clip your little tag to the top, using these new gold pegs. Now you can get these separately, they're part of the catalogue, but you also get them in this little kit, so it's a great little kit with new things in it. So that's the bag finished. I was pleased with that, so you can put something quite big in there as well. And then I'm just stamping the greeting for the tiny box and squishing it up, so it closes exactly the same, the wider flap, then the side ones, and then the front one. But because it's acetate, you might want to fold them in first, just so that they're truly flat and they're going to sit flat onto the table when you've put them down. And I usually press it from the bottom as well. And then the key with this is, if you're going to put something, a gift in this, you put it in right now. You don't finish the box off until you've put the gift in. Mine's just going to be a little sample to show at a class, so I've left it empty and I'm fine with that. But when I make up the other 3 in the kit, I will fill them up before I finish decorating them. So you just pop out those little flowers, circle scallops, and press one over the top of the other. And I actually stuck them onto the box first as per the instructions, and then I pulled it off again. So I would recommend that you do the fringing around the side first, and I've just stuck that to the box with glue dots. So you do one and then you do it the exact same thing again, and I just pressed it down with glue dots. It's quite a fragile paper, so be careful that you don't rip it when you're doing that part, and then just go over the top with another one. Exactly the same way again, and it was longer than the box, so I just snipped off the top, and this is the second one going down as well. And then you just use the edge of your scissors and flick up the sides of the fringe so that you've got a little curl to it. And you might want to do that before you put it down if you find it easier to handle it that way. And then I press this little flower down over the top, and then you have to make a little bow, which is a little green one. So to seal these, I just used the mini glue dots again, and I curled it with the bone folder in the middle so that you don't get like a nasty crease in the middle of your bow, and then it squashes flat. And I just pressed, I'd done one already, so I've just got glue dots either side, and then I kind of overlapped the little flap so that you've got them joining in the middle, and then you just stick the backwards bits on underneath, the bits that stick out from the bottom, and then you cover the whole lot with the little tiny strip, and I again just use glue dots to secure that, and you just press it around the middle and secure it. And then again I just stuck that to the flower with more glue dots. So you might end up going through a few glue dots if you do it the same way as me. And I just press that onto the middle there. The bone folder is really handy. If you've squashed it a bit too flat, you can then lift it up again and round it up. And then just the tag, I poked out the little hole with the point of the scissors and then fed through the black and white ribbon, so you get some of this as well. Sorry, baker's twine. So you get some of this as well. And you can obviously secure it under the bow if you want to do that. I just wanted to do it in a knot, but I cut the thread a little bit short for tying, so I kind of had a bit of a frap with this. So it's not very clear on the video, I'm sorry, of how to tie the bow. And then I just trimmed the edges off and snip them so that it just hung to the side. So here's the 4 of them all complete. If you would like to order yours, you can go to quickandeasycrafter.com. You can send me a Facebook message. You can get me at paperworks@hotmail.co.uk, and I always reply, and I send a gift for every order. Thanks so much for joining me today.